Gentleman from Texas is recognized for 3 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and want to thank the gentleman from Texas. I am on the Ways and Means Committee. I was at the markup for this legislation, Mr. Speaker, and I do want to correct the record from the previous statement that my colleague on the other side of the aisle made, that this was a bipartisan legislative initiative. Not one Republican voted for this bill. We offered up several amendments. None of them were taken. One of them, for example, was one that I proposed, whereby these employees would take out a guarantee, a policy that would ensure that taxpayers get paid back for these, quote, loans. They called them loans, and the gentlelady says that they must be paid back. That's not true. Read the fine print. My fellow Americans, it says they can be forgiven. They can be converted into grants. This is a bailout. This is one of the most reckless, fiscally irresponsible pieces of legislation I've ever seen. Yes, we need to help those workers. They were the real victims. And the culprits, the unions and the employees for making benefit promises that they knew good and well they couldn't deliver on. Who is now going to hold the bag? Our children and grandchildren. Today, we're bailing out $100 billion worth, 130 plans, irresponsibly managed, grossly irresponsibly managed, and it's our children that will pay for this. And this is the first $100 billion. There's $650 billion, roughly, underfunded liabilities in this multi-employer pension. Of the 1,300 pension plans, whereby 10 million workers are covered, 50% of these, or 75% rather, of the workers are in plans that are less than 50% funded. This is a disaster. This is a terrible precedent. This is moral hazard if I've ever seen it, because we'll do this for $100 billion. We won't fix the problem. We don't do anything to get at the root cause that brought us here, and there'll be a line as long as the eye can see to bail out the next $100 billion and the next $100 billion. And it won't be the multi-employer pension. It'll be state pensions and local pensions. We're bankrupt, Mr. Speaker. We are bankrupt in this country, and this is the most irresponsible way to try to solve this problem of underfunded and unfunded liabilities for these workers. Hold the people who are responsible accountable. Don't just give a blank check from the taxpayers to bail this program out and be right back here doing the same thing. I was a regulator at the FDIC. We would close a bank down that gave these so-called loans so fast, your heads would spin. This is not a loan. This is a complete write-off of irresponsible behavior we shouldn't have anything to do with. I urge my colleagues to reject this bill. I oppose it. I hope they will too.
Gentleman's time has expired.